The spicy theater of Kenyan politics. It is the only place where a speech isn't just words. It is a recipe for a stew that everyone wants to salt, but nobody wants to wash the pot for. I want us to unpack Boniface Mwangi's claim with practical wisdom and some bit of humor. Boniface Mwangi and Nerima apparently wrote a speech. Now that is cute. But you see, writing a speech for a seasoned politician is like giving a recipe to a 5-star chef. He's been in the kitchen since before you knew what onions were. He knows which ingredients will actually cook and which will just cause heartburn. Elders were right when they said, Mgeni njoo, mwenyeji apone. Let the guest come so that the host may benefit. But you see, the host still owns the house. It's like a Gen Z intern telling the CEO how to run a board meeting based on a TikTok they saw. The CEO might nod politely, but he's thinking about the payroll. He's thinking about the taxes. He's thinking about the previous 3 revolutions he survived when the intern was still learning ABCs. Boniface says that the government was going to fall. The veteran Raila Odinga knew that falling is easy to say, but landing is the hard part. Remember, Raila was actively involved in 2007 when the country almost collapsed. Activists like Boniface Mwangi love the fire. But you see, politicians like Raila had to worry about the ashes. If Raila had followed the angry script and the country went up in flames, Boniface would be back on Twitter posting photos and making videos on TikTok. But the common man would be the one missing breakfast. The veteran wasn't fumbling. He was avoiding turning the grass into a charcoal pit. You see, there is a certain audacity in saying all he needed to do was what I told him. In African tradition, you don't tell the rain how to fall, and you don't tell a leopard how to hunt, especially if you're the one who provided the hunting manual, but have never caught a gazelle yourself. Elders were right when they said, kelele za chura hazimzui ng'ombe kunywa maji. The croaking of a frog does not prevent the cow from drinking water. Boniface is the frog in this scenario. He is loud, he's energetic, he's very passionate, and that is very commendable and admirable. But you see, Raila is the cow. The cow was thirsty for a political deal, and no matter how much the frog croaked about the rule of law, the cow was going to drink water according to his own schedule. Boniface predicted the fall that never happened. You see, predicting a government's fall is a bit like predicting the end of the world. It is a great way to get engagement, but eventually Monday morning comes and everyone still has to go to work. Elders were right when they said, usitukane wakia kabla hujavuka mto. Don't insult the midwife before the baby is born, or don't insult the crocodile before you cross the river. Boniface was standing on the riverbank, shouting at the crocodile, which is the government. Raila was trying to build a bridge. Boniface thinks Raila fumbled by not jumping into the water with a knife. But Raila knew that crocodiles don't care about a well-written speech. They only care about lunch. The bottom line is experience beats enthusiasm. You see, while Boniface wanted a micro moment, the veteran was playing a game of chess where the board is made of glass and the pieces are on fire. Sometimes fumbling a speech is actually a strategic silence to avoid a riot, to avoid destruction, and to avoid the collapse of a nation. My name is Piketty, and watch out for the next analysis.